movie, and this was going to be my feature, and I was like, and was financing it from working at a video store. So what means was like I would like get like $200 or so, and then we'd go off and shoot for the weekend, and then we'd run out of money, and then I would like go back to work again, and then like eventually I would just keep piecing it together. And what you would do is when you'd rent equipment from a rental house, if you rent it on Friday, you have it all weekend. It's kind of this one-day rental, and you have to return it Monday morning. So you would just
shoot
burn
like
your. I mean, you would just like get old before your time trying to like shoot all weekend long and give the stuff back. I had so little money that I couldn't even process this footage. All right, that I was in. That's way too expensive. All right, so eventually I ended up after like about 3 years, I ended up like starting processing some of the footage and starting seeing exactly what I had. And guess what?
What?
I did not have at all what I thought I had. All right, it was.
How was it different?
It was amateurish.
Yeah.
It was really, and not in a charming way either. And,
it had no charm.
And no charm at all. All right, and the thing is,
no one said, "Isn't that cute?"
No. It wasn't like that. Now, there were good things about it. All right, I mean, you could tell I made it.
Yeah.
People who knew me could look at, well, that's a Quentin movie.
That.
Yeah, that has my spirit.
You've had that
it has
from
my
day one,
personality.
then.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, it was like this was going to be the thing that like set me up. Yeah. All right, and I'd worked 3 years on it, and I was able to look at it in a realistic way after being horribly depressed for a little bit, but only a short little bit. Was the fact that, well, this was my film school. All right, and this was the best film school a person could possibly have. I mean, I actually, instead of like going to school and paying a ton of money to be allowed to use some of their crappy equipment, all right, I actually went out and actually tried to make a feature film. All right, now I failed. It was guitar picks when I was finished. But when I looked at the footage, now all the stuff I did the first year, which was all the story stuff, all right, sucked. All right, but the stuff that I did like the last couple of months, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah. And what made the difference? What did you learn after you got past the story stuff? And is that what is best about even Pulp Fiction, where you got beyond the story stuff?
Well, no. To me, I actually think one of my strengths is my storytelling. Because I actually am committing to telling a story. It was
because you're a writer.
More as a viewer, more the fact that I just like, I like it when somebody tells me a story, and I actually really feel that that's becoming like a lost art in
But
American
everybody
cinema.
says about you, I mean, the things that come out about you. One is a video arcade story, and growing up with your mother and loving the movies and seeing, they always talk about carnal knowledge. And the other thing that comes out is when they talk about you, and I want to talk about this a little bit later, but it is that you, in a sense, have taken novelistic techniques.
Very much so, very much so.
And translated them to filmmaking, to cinema.
No, I know. That's the thing is because to me, most movies that you see now. I mean, that used to be the thing about America was the fact that Hollywood. Forget America. Hollywood. Hollywood used to. That's what we did better than anybody else in the world. We told a really good story. Europe was where you had character-based films or mood-based films, but America, we told a story. We're the worst at it now, as far as I'm concerned.
At telling a story.
Telling a story. We don't tell a story. We tell a situation. Most of the movies that you see nowadays, and I'm not a Hollywood basher because enough good movies come out of the Hollywood system every year to justify its existence, but without any apologies. However, a good majority of movies that come out, all right, you pretty much know everything you're going to see in the movie by the first 10 or 20 minutes. Now, that's not a story. A story is something that constantly unfolds. I'm not talking about like this quick left turn or a quick right turn or a big surprise. I'm talking about it unfolds. All right?
Yeah, but you don't believe in a linear storytelling.
Well, it's not. It's not so much I don't believe in it. It's the situation. It's not the fact that I'm like on this big crusade against linear storytelling. All right, but it's the thing is, it's not the only game in town. Yeah. All right. I mean, the bottom line is, all right, my storyline jumps all over the place in Pulp Fiction.
Back and forward.
Yeah, back and forward. Now the thing is, the truth of the matter is, if I had written Pulp Fiction as a novel and I was on your show, you would never even remotely bring up the structure.
Flashbacks or whatever it was.
You would never bring it up. All right, because it's like a novel can do that no problem. Yeah. Novelists have always had just a complete freedom to pretty much tell their story any way they saw fit. All right, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Now the thing is, for both novels and film, 75% of the stories you're going to tell will work better on a dramatic basis, on a dramatically engaging basis, to be told from a linear way. But there is that 25% out there that, can be more resonant by telling it this way. And I think in the case of both Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, it gains a lot more resonance being told in this kind of like wild way.
But is it also because that wild way keeps the audience on the edge of the seat? I mean, you have talked about the use of violence.
Right.
And it is, in a sense, you want that viewer, that person watching your film, experiencing the film, to be on the edge of the seat.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I
mean, everybody does, but
yeah,
you believe that the techniques you employ do that.
Yes, I do. I mean, but the thing is, it's not even just so much. I mean, the thing is, I know as a viewer, the minute I start getting confused, I check out of the movie. Emotionally, I'm severed.
Confused.
Yeah, when I'm watching a movie and all of a sudden something starts happening where all of a sudden the storyline and everything is, it gets confusing. I don't know where I'm at when I'm watching it. I think an audience has like this, like almost like umbilical cord to the screen, and it gets severed when confusion comes in.
And therefore you lose them.
Exactly. And the thing is, most of the time, when I get confused and that's severed, it's basically because I'm not supposed to be confused. Yeah. All right, that's like it's a mistake. All right. However, if you get confused, there's no problem with being momentarily confused if you feel you're in good hands. Yeah. All right. And I don't think my movie, and disagree if you please, is that I don't think Pulp Fiction, for all of its goings in and around and up and down,
stories they are, and
how it goes in this big circle, I don't think it's hard to watch at all.
No, it's not.
You have to watch it. I ask for you to watch it. You can't like put this on video and like do the New York Times crossword puzzle and watch the movie.
That's right.
All right. I'll ask you put everything down and watch it.
Give me 2 hours and whatever it is, 10 minutes.
Exactly. And then once you do that, then you can follow it. It's easy to follow.
Talk to me a little bit about the virtue of writing your own material and the material that you wrote for other people.
Right.
And whether what you are doing now as a director is directly a descendant of, is in a direct line of that.
Well, it's funny, I mean, because like people ask me all the times about like my writing and everything. Right. And the thing is, I mean, and I'm not being falsely modest. I'm very happy with the way I write,
Yes.
I think I do it good. All right, but the thing is though, I've never really considered myself a writer. I've always considered myself a filmmaker who writes stuff for himself to do. If I really considered myself a writer, I wouldn't be writing screenplays. I'd be writing novels. All right. In fact, at one point when it looked like I could never get a film going, all right, I even considered, you know what, maybe I should just forget this, because to be a novelist, all I need is a pen and a piece of paper.
But if you were a novelist and weren't making films, what kind of novelist would you be? What kind of novels would...
That's really hard. That's an answer that I don't. That's a question I don't have an answer to. I mean, I tried to write a novel at one point. I had read Larry McMurtry's All My Friends Will Be Strangers, which is one of my favorite books, and it totally made me want to write a book about my video archives years. All right, and this is way before I could ever get anything going and everything. And so I started writing. I wrote about 2 chapters in this book, and I ended up spending about 6 months just rewriting those 2 chapters all the time, because it was a whole new form that I was very excited about. But ultimately, I'm a filmmaker, and I just you know what, if I'm going to put the work that really needs to be put into this, I'm going to be a novelist, and I think I could get this published, and I don't want to. I want to keep on the road of being a filmmaker. But the thing is, with doing my own stuff, as opposed to somebody else doing it, or me doing somebody else's script or something, is what's nice about doing my own stuff. One, I'm usually happy with my stuff, all right, and it's also very personal. All right. If I was writing a movie about, I mean, I could have an idea in my head for 5, 6, 7 years. All right. And I've kind of little by little been working out different things about it. The day that I sit down to do it, whatever is going on with me at the time will find its way into the piece. It has to, or the piece isn't worth making. All right. An analogy I always use, because all of my writing techniques, I never took any writing classes or seminars or anything like that, or read any pamphlets. My whole thing was everything I learned as an actor, studying acting for 6 years, I've basically applied to writing. Now,
what did you learn then?